I should say, close to tying things up.
What a freaking play from Coco. Just Coco setting things up. From Jet to also just kind of blind out that recon dart. Don't give away your position. You have to hit your shot, and you do. Off the two defenders inside the A to hold off that hit for Heretics. It starts to push the collab, but the fact that you get that late time is a little bit extra shot. Coco to stop Heretics at the choke point is brilliant. They need to talk about it.
내가 찾아주지. 5명 찾았다. 가만히 있어. 꼼짝 마. 꼼짝 마라.
That's the goal against the composition. Yeah, that's the moment I'm talking about where you put down the cloud version, stop the real combo, hit your shot. I think there's a flash over the top at the same time as Coco, if I saw it right. Though again, just a really good reactionary play from TEC. One is still in hand though here for Heretics. Like you mentioned, lots of key ultimates ready. Things like the Viper's Pit and the Hunter's Fury, and then Minibu just an off angle up top. We'll go 1-for-1. Good trade though from how Dawn can back up and lock down the site with the Viper's Pit of his own now.
Yeah, for Heretics to just slow it down, so you're kind of, where is that up? Because now it's the mind games. Okay, we've hit the A site so many times, which now more mixed success. Then you had that collab from T-Fires. Now, are they sending us to T-Fires here? Be a beat, and Rota's got to take the last success with the best site.
Yeah, and I think the thing is for Heretics, kind of going back into those, like, you don't want to be putting all the resources into a very strong play at A. You know, just kind of up and push is what they've been largely playing. See what that's going to come to put a little bit of pressure over for Green. The more you can do it, you're building your ability to deal with that. As the Green will come up with that Hunter Fury can break down this Viper's Pit. Just will this actually be a commitment here for Ryan to get on the site? The Knights doesn't see much, the Flash doesn't do too much. So the Owl Drone has to find success here, otherwise you might find some sort of a late pivot back over to A.
And the drone is going through the pit, trying to get a ping on that Viper, and you can try to get the perimeter, but you're just going to fight fire with fire, overlaying both on top, and it's the op in the middle of the pit that's getting picks, and T-Fires comes alive, dances against Trouble, and it's Heretics down for the count.
That is forcing a square peg into a round hole right there if you're Team Heretics. It just, nothing about that execute felt good. It starts with that opening trade for Titan. It keeps Yellow in contest. The Heretics don't have to spend something. On the precipice of breaking the side down. When that recon bolt comes out, let's kind of see the nature knows that that's Yellow. That's saying, okay, they get no information whatsoever. Drop the first thing. We get information back to a bit because the Heretics is not going to put pressure on both sides at the same time. They have not really been lurking or trying to scale someone deep. So the easy commitment call for Titan comes through. And then even on, green goo on green goo, it's just too much space given that Titan can use to re-break that stuff down, and Heretics just struggling to touch, although they can still afford full weapons here in the last round of the half.
Well, ask it, you shall receive. I want to see the impact of this op and
Mày xem sticker tao gì?
the pits. Wow. It's crazy. Oh, wait, Minibu's gonna stick this?
Oh.
This is insane. And he's been
21
spotted.
mạng,
That was
5
known
hết
where the op is, but there is a 3 versus 2 engagement on the front lines of B main. Coco gets away with 2 before Benji finishes off that.
Em không nhỉ.
Quick on the rotation underneath tube can try to stop this plant with Nanos. You also have the Hunter's Fury to break this down. Absolutely perfect read from Titan to deal with that quit from the shadows.
Đem điều cho anh bạn em. Này, qua bắn vào đi nào. Đây anh khiếu này.
Thôi đây. Thích luôn chứ.
게임을 찾았습니다.
Mẹ em mày động tác nhanh thật đấy.
Đây vào đi. Cố tự ởชั้n phòng đấy.
Ồ.
So good from Titan Esports. Just the quick reaction. This is where they really struggled yesterday versus RRQ. When they were kind of bursted on and they had to make quick adjustments, quick decisions. They were a little bit slow. What are we doing? How are we doing it? Not a question here throughout those last 4 rounds for Titan, even though Heretics were again trying to manipulate and
Về xỉu anh ơi, ra mọi về anh ơi.
Em đây em đưa nhá, nằm đây.
Ê, cho mình máy đi. Đây rồi. Em bật máy đang hùng anh ơi.
Meets the statistic of the average of Titan on the defensive side, about 60% win rate. They get that. And now the question is, with the composition, how much have they been able to really do a game plan on the offensive side to see if they can take their map pick?
Things started off much stronger for Heretics when they had all these flawless rounds. The A site with stairs constantly forced a lot of different shifts from Titans, from fighting from that A aura to being more passive, to then the ults coming online, the lockdowns were pivotal, the T-Virus off started firing, and he had a much more even showdown when it came to the end of that first half. This pistol did go the way of Titans, but
Lộn thế.
I think the tables have turned and
정보는 확실히 전한다. 약속하지.
warmed up and how the match started as well.
Well, I mean, it's. I think the thing about it is like, it's hard to sit there and say like what the Heretics doing was wrong or bad. It's just down to like what they're throwing at Titan required a player or two to essentially do what was done. Like, you got to hit a shot if you're T-Virus on that play with the operator over towards A, he gets a collapse. You have to hold your ground. If you're T-Virus on that play over towards yellow and green, or like you're isolated, no command from your way, he gets 2. Like, it's just a couple of great moments individually where you're asked to answer requests.
Em xin code vậy?
Provide the correct response. So, good battle there in the last 4 rounds for Titan after what looked to be almost a runaway.
Anh bớt chơi kiểu hoang dã như thế được không?
스파이크를 확보했다.
What the heck?
Chết đi.
연막 다수 투하.
Xin
Được anh ơi. Mẹ code thật là vãi lồn.
스파이크 운반자가 당했어. 스파이크 확보. 스파이크가 A 지점에 떨어졌습니다. 경계봇이 파괴됐어. 상쾌하네. 적군이 1명 남았습니다.
샷.
재장전 중.
빨리.
아군이 1명 남았습니다. 클러치.
Hey, why you hype man?
저쪽 제트가 좀 까다롭겠어. 좋아.
Crazy Vader.
Đây vừa xử cho mà bắn.
Half for Heretics, and a very crucial pick.
My God, Benji and Boo do their best, and their best is enough. The pistol goes to Heretics.
Yeah, really good stuff right there for Heretics. Again, they dump all of their utility, which there's not a lot purchased, obviously, for a pistol. You resist the play at B, but I think, again, just kind of most importantly, and I'm glad that we caught it.
Ta tải lại nó có lưu lại không vậy?
Không biết là được.
Thôi thì tao cứ tải nhá, nếu ví dụ mà có bị sao thì anh em chơi lại.
Tải đây, tao tải luôn.
Cần nhập 9 tháng 7 à?
Mày vẫn còn một
là bên đấy mà.
Xong rồi chết con mẹ đi thằng ngu.
Linh Phan vua đâu ấy nhỉ? Đây mà nó có mất vuông vậy? Không, nhưng mà chắc là mày đi nét còn đéo xóa, đi tải lại còn đéo mất.
And the comeback is there.
Yep, good stuff, clean.
Anh ơi, em chơi cùng bạn copy file xếp rồi tải bản mới chơi được, nhưng em vào mất nhân vật thì làm sao hả anh?
Now we go into
Có
the
thể
bonus
bạn
for Team
mới
Heretics.
chưa
Couple
tương thích xếp
really
cũ
just the
tốt
one
đâu
repurchase
em
has to
nhé.
come through from Minibu. Whereas full rifles are not as potent as you would assume in round 3 of a half for Titan Esports.
Hãy
Seems
trả
they
lời
have
đúng
not
kiểu
been able to
là
plant the spike yet. So
game
two
crack chỉ thế
regenerative
thôi.
armors plus one light armor. You're also dealing with
AD
those
thế
shock
giờ mình
darts
được lưu ở
for
file nào vậy
Lucas.
ạ?
That's kind of
Đóng
an
how
important
to save
note.
local.
And I think this again, like this
Cộng
utility
tên game.
and the weaponry plus the armor situation is not as comfortable for TEC
Sao
as
update
you
thì
like.
file
This
save
is
game
everything
cũ
you
mất
would want
ạ.
to see if Heretics were to pull
Mà
off
chắc
something
update
like a
đấy.
bonus.
Ơ, bản
We'll see if they
4.12
can
khác
find a
gì
way to muster that as
4.11 ạ?
Lucas will connect on the
DLC
first
mới đó
blood
em.
off angle from Minibu punished.
À nó hỏi từ 2024.
It's tech that won't be surprised, but will still take the time to maybe recon up, or even use
Từ từ
Coco's
để
knives and just
thôi để tao
layering
tao cứ để cái game cũ ở đây đã, có gì còn cứu được.
Mùi đầu tiên là có thể cái đối phía của Hunter Thief họ thả vào trong side là
Tao nhét cái game cũ sang với chỗ khác.
Heaven vẫn có người, chỉ chú đang mua.
Cứu được.
Thời gian anh ta sống sót chỉ kéo dài một giây thôi. Smokey lại đang tỏa sáng, Smokey làm đôi rồi. Ô, đưa về là 3 đánh 2, đưa một liền tiếng. EU đưa tình huống này về 1 đánh 2 nhưng anh ta chỉ còn đó là 1 HP. Recon đã online trên người của Nobody rồi. Chuẩn bị online thì hơn. Một cái sốc.
Có lồn gì mới đâu. 0.6.1.7 5453. Ơ, các bạn đang chơi mà.
Tao thấy nó cập nhật thêm cái gì đây?
Chẳng lẽ
Hình như thêm bản offline ấy. Bản offline khác
sao
nữa gì?
ta không trả lời thì bảo anh lúc này
Rồi viết được đi mẹ, nhưng mà mẹ bản mình đang là bản mình đang chơi mà.
Tao biết đâu được.
Tí thì vừa rồi xóa game. Thế kia ta định xóa mấy cái mà chưa giải nén ấy. Đây đọc vào 0.6.1.75433 khắc đéo với nhau đâu.
Mày xóa game vẫn thế mà, trước tao xóa vẫn gì đó, vẫn lưu mà.
Mất mát đúng không?
Trên sân đấu chính mình sẽ đại diện tiếp bước tại mùa giải Esports World Cup của chúng ta ở bộ môn Valorant. Cảm ơn các thành viên bên phía của Hunter Thief đã đến.
Tao đã thống nhất là Tam Quốc rồi.
Mình là Nia Airport thôi. Và ngày hôm nay về thì khả năng sẽ có một vài tweet dành cho Bustio ở trên mạng xã hội.
Utility was expended, but a couple of opening shots leading to a numbers advantage. Allow Tech to continue to use their numbers best they possibly can. Opening toggle for position here around the orb. That Nano Swarm trying to get some pressure on top 410, but he's still in position up there, and I'd be curious to see if Tech will do their diligence and continue to put the focus up top here after using some utility to try to contest it.
Yeah, that's crazy pressure out of Heretics, but how long can they really keep this up for? Because this KO don't have a dash the way that the Jet does. Of course, you're not even running a duelist, so well, you just get to escape the old-fashioned way and being patient. We'll see if that pays off.
Now up and over goes the Jet. Lucas for one on the trade, but Rien's just getting the job done on the low ground. It's good for 3 before eventually being shut down. Boo, last one, standing now in the 1v2, rotating from the other site. This should be a post plant. Just comes down to where do you want to set it up if you're Tech.
The Heretics had some good cutoffs. As soon as you saw that dash pass, they cut off the reinforcements, and there's some duels on the front line. Tech still stands, but for how long? Wait a minute, Boo. No 1 versus 2, now make it only 1. And it's against that star duelist. T-Virus has been on one today. Now you kind of force him to play close to the spike because of that wall. Now that that's gone, spamming through the box, Boo will touch the spike, and T-Virus will put him to bed.
Yeah, great stuff from Tech. You know, it is interesting, I think, to kind of see the decision. We haven't really talked about this in the compositions, but for Heretics to not play a Jet here does allow, you know, Luke to kind of have free reign over the high ground, which is why I think you're seeing Minibu like teleporting up top over towards the backside of A. You have the same thing kind of occurring with the KO playing up on 410 like that. Like, you have to find ways if you're Heretics to make sure.
적군이 한 명 남았습니다.
서.
샷!
재장전 중. 재장전 중.
빽빽빽빽.
아군이 한 명 남았습니다. 클러치.
chơi vào rồi nào.
Anything off the Woot knife that early, but
Oh
A
my.
side is popular, and so is Woot.
Các điểm đang rất gần đầu. Họ phải tức.
Trời, tao thấy tao bắn hay hơn mà đồng đội tao bắn ngu quá. Đéo chịu được.
Này
Nhiều hơn. Đây ngày